Hello and welcome to a rebuilt Defichain, but without Daniel and Lord Mark. My name is Bernd and I run together with Andy Lenz Mydefichain. Unfortunately, we did not manage to find a common date before the voting, but we thought skipping it is no option because the community has voted it or has upvoted it on Reddit, and so I'm trying to do this on my own. This is my first video, so sorry if it's not perfect. I know the lighting is from the top and no green screen, no intro, and camera and microphone. I hope it's working well. This video is about giving you an overview of my Defichain so that you have a better impression of who you are voting for in the upcoming voting cycle, starting in a few hours. So let's start with a little bit history. My Defichain was founded and is operated since the early 2021. The main goal was to support the Defichain in kind of make it more decentralized and that you're not so centralized on the staking providers, and to enable everyone with his 20k DFI to operate his own masternode and to get the rewards without handing over the keys to someone else. In addition, we are providing some different tools, kind of stuff to support the Defichain community, and if we notice there's something we can do, then we do it. I will show you some of these tools in this video. So, main focus is the community pool. So our community pool with about 360 masternodes and 1,200 subnodes, with currently I think 34 servers live. They are all sharing the work. Some are working parallel or multi-parallel, all over spread over the whole globe, just to maintain reliability and certain uptime for the masternodes. We set up the servers, provide the operator addresses for you, and do all the technical stuff in the background. For you, this means you just have to create the masternode. You're always in control of your private keys. You can vote, and the hosting service, in this case Mydefichain, but there are also other hosting services, they have no control or no access to the collateral, to the 20k. They always belong to you. That's very, very important. And as infrastructure, we have chosen not to use AWS, just because there are already a lot of masternodes running on AWS, and in the topic of decentralization, we just do not want to put more servers on AWS. So it's a little bit more complicated. We have more servers and more hosting providers just to provide this decentralization idea. This means it's more maintenance, more update, and a lot of more work or manual work, but it's all in with the focus of decentralized Defichain. So next part here is the masternode list. I just switch here through the website. You can find it. I will put the links below. You can see or track how the development of the masternode amount is over the last year. There is also a detailed graph on Daniel's dashboard, Defichain Analytics, but here we are tracking this also just to have different sources. But now the masternode list. This is a list where you can check out fast and easily if your masternode is created properly. So you can check here if your operator address and owner address is in the list, and if it has the state pre-enabled, it's in the state pre-enabled, and if it's enabled, which occurs after 1008 blocks, then it's enabled and the hosting service or wherever you have located the masternode is minting. Also, one important thing is we have often the question, oh, my masternode does not mint, please check if it's minting. And here you have all the masternodes, yours and all the other masternodes. And if you want to get an impression or a feeling how many blocks your masternode should have found since the creation, just pick out the 10 masternodes before and after your masternode and just do an average. Keep in mind, some could be frozen, some not, to choose the right ones. And if your average is in about plus minus 10%, there's no problem. So this also provides this list. It's a very long list because I think almost 13,000 masternodes are in this list. Sometimes the end is a little bit cut because there are PHP website issues we are solving at the moment. This is this list form. Next part is the calculator. With the calculator you can get a short impression how your masternode rewards could be. You just click here the result button and we can see the unlocked masternode at the moment has about 20% APR. If you freeze it for 10 years, then the APR doubles. These are theoretical values and we can later check if it fits to the real value. And also here you can see for an unlocked masternode you can, in average every 6 days you will find or your masternode can find a block. Next step is setting up the node. There are several manuals. We have also created some in English, for example here in the Defichain wiki with all the commands. If you want to try it on your own, just try it. We can also support you. We have a lot of Zoom one-to-one sessions setting up the servers for the customer, with the customer, because they do not want to use Mydefichain. They want to have their own masternode, which is in fact the best for the Defichain if everybody runs it on his own. We can help there. There is a manual, minimum requirements. I will not read it through in this video, but if you have questions, just join the Masternode or Mydefichain group. We can help you if there are technical issues setting it up. The Masternode management, yes, I told already what the Masternodepool is. This is this about, and also the rent and operator. There are some places where the servers are located all over the world, but I see we should update it. There is also a quick manual where you can get an impression how easy it is to set it up. You need the 20K, then you need some special command which you have to put into your wallet, and if you want to freeze it, there are some additional text blocks to put into this command. So there is also an FAQ, some questions or most asked questions. The next part is the voting service. We do not vote for you, but we have seen it is very complicated, or for some users it's complicated to sign the message, create an account on GitHub, upload the signatures on GitHub. So we decided, hey, put in just an email address. You can send us an email with your signatures, not the private keys, please, just the signatures, and we upload it in one big bunch on GitHub, so you do not have to upload it to GitHub. This service is also possible for Cake users. If you just put it into a text file, send it to us, we upload it before the voting ends to GitHub. But also to mention, this is hopefully the last time we can offer this service, because the next time on-chain governance, and then everybody can do it on his own in his own Defichain wallet. Then yes, the GitHub block, I will skip it. It's just for the GitHub updates, some information. Next part is the DNS Seed. Important is this has nothing to do with the seed or 24 words of your wallet. So please do not share this with anyone. This is about connecting your Defichain node, if you have a Defichain wallet, desktop wallet full node with the whole Defichain network. Problem is, if you start your wallet, there is in the beginning no other node available. So your wallet does not know who is the next node to me, and it has to search the internet. Sometimes it takes some minutes or hours to find another node, and because of that we have integrated Seed, and behind this Seed there are I think 6 community driven, high performance, high availability masternodes in the internet, and your Defichain wallet, this is also integrated in the code, so you cannot manage, you cannot change it. It just works automatically, and your node checks, oh, if one of these nodes is available, and asks these nodes for other nodes, and whoops, it's in the network. The next part here is the network map. Network map, yes, I think it's self-explanatory. With the world map we can check, I just click it, it takes a little bit. We are running some crawler in the background which searches the whole internet for open ports for the Defichain network, trying to access the Defichain nodes, trying to gather some information, version, blockade, and yes, also location, and put it onto this list. All these little violet dots here are unknown. That means these nodes are behind a firewall. We cannot get much information from them, but we know they are there, and there is a running Defichain node behind it. One issue is in the world map at the moment, so I can just show it on the on the country list. Germany is a very high represented here. This is because there are some internet providers which disconnects you after 24 hours. You get a new IP, and new IP means new entry in the world map, and for every day in the year. This is the reason why Germany is a very high represented. What also is possible, you can check the versions here, the versions running on the Defichain network. This is for us just as information if the new node version is already rolled out on a lot of nodes, or especially not, and then we can tweet, hey, please do not forget to update your node. The reason why there are also older node softwares is not because they are running on that software. It's they just have a database entry with that version at the latest moment, or at that moment, and we do not delete something yet. This is just we have to improve it and do just a snapshot over time to just use the last 7 days or something for evaluation of the node version distribution. So this was the network map. Then next part is the faucet. Yes, we have here some testnet faucet. I think this should be self-explanatory why we need this. If you want to help to improve the Defichain testnet, and with testnet also the mainnet, just download the light wallet on a separate system, play around with the swapping vaults, everything you can. It helps the Defichain. We need some advanced users, simple users, just performing all the actions you can perform on the testnet, and because of that you cannot perform it without DFI. We spent here 1000 testnet DFI to everyone who puts in his address and solves the CAPTCHA and requests it. The same tool for the mainnet, but for the mainnet the amount is much smaller. Main reason for the UTXO recharger is it's similar to Ethereum, where you need some gas to pay the transaction fee. In Defichain, you need DFI in UTXO form to pay the transaction fee. And if you have only tokens, and I think some of you will notice this already, if you have only tokens, you cannot perform a transaction. The light wallet have solved it in form of there is a minimum UTXO balance, and with this minimum UTXO balance, you can perform the transactions. In the Defichain wallet, especially 1-2 years ago, there was the problem that you could spend all your UTXO and only token were left, and you cannot convert the token back to UTXO, so you have to send from external, and we built this website to send you automatically some DFI from external and perform a swap transaction from DFI token to DFI UTXO, and after that you can do whatever you want with this UTXO. And yes, here, little fun fact on this side, the programming of this tool was pretty fast. The most time flows into the prevention of abuse, because you cannot imagine how many people are trying to deplete this pool with bots over the whole day. So much of effort is here into the bot and protection system. This is the rule, yes. So Faucet Testnet, I already mentioned it with the testnet before. Or if you want to support the testnet, use the testnet, swap there, or set up your own masternode on testnet. We can send you some 20k DFI. Then you can set up your own masternode, play around with the masternode on the testnet, make some blocks, try out how complicated is the setup process for the Linux server. Just play around without getting a heart attack to lose the 20k because you are not in the mainnet. And the testnet DFI are not at 50 cent like DFI now. Here's a short overview. We are running a lot of testnet nodes as well, just to perform or to provide the testnet infrastructure, that there is a minimum server load, or not server load, server infrastructure, and a minimum capacity for masternodes. So on every node here, there are about 10 masternodes. Some nodes have, I think the last one has 150 masternodes. Also to test if 150 masternode is too much for a masternode, and to check where the limits are. Every form of these masternodes has also a little bit API. I will tell you about the API something in the next step. If you want to set up your system or support the testnet, or just set up a testnet server, there are some instructions to do this. And here is also a link to a snapshot. I think most of you will know this from the desktop wallet. You can use a snapshot to improve the speed of syncing. If not, the sync process or the resync process would take 3, 4, 5 days. And the snapshot provides a snapshot from about 1 day before. And you have just to sync the last 2000 blocks. We are providing also this snapshot service for test and mainnet. If you need the snapshot, just download it here. We have got also a link for the mainnet. In the wiki, there are all links described. So next, testnet and Defichain status. Okay, just to show it, it's similar to a lot of other tools. It just shows us the status of the blockade of different projects, and just as a programming example, Bittrex, KuCoin, deposit and withdrawal. Will be important if there is the hard fork in some weeks. Take care to not have too much on the exchanges, or to have something on the exchanges if they deposit and withdrawal is paused. So last point here, it's not mentioned already on our website, is the point with Mydefichain Ocean. If you don't know what Mydefichain Ocean is, I will just give a short overview. Mydefichain Ocean connects your Light wallet or your Jelly wallet or your DFX wallet with the blockchain. So there is no connection between the Light wallet and the blockchain itself. There has to be something in the middle, and this in the middle is the Defichain Ocean system. The Defichain Ocean system provides you your balance and receives your transaction request, sends it to the blockchain. It's just in the middle. And this is very good because you can provide a very high speed infrastructure in the Ocean system, and your Light wallet will react very quickly. But if this Ocean infrastructure has problems, then your Light wallet cannot perform any transaction. The blockchain runs, but you have no connection to the blockchain. And the idea was here to also decentralize these a bit. And we have created a Mydefichain Ocean. It's also a highly available infrastructure with load balancers, with distributed servers all over the world, for you to be able to change the ocean from the main ocean to the Mydefichain Ocean. If main ocean sometimes happens, is in maintenance, you can switch over and yes, save your vault, send faster transaction, or just always be in control over your Defichain funds. And this is one of the CFPs, or two of the CFPs are exactly for this. The infrastructure, yes, it creates costs or expenses, and we have split it up into quarterly expenses or quarterly CFPs. Maybe we change this next year if the on-chain governance with regularly payouts is available, but at the moment it's not, and we have these expenses. And so we ask for Q4 funding, and and also for the Q1 funding. These are two of the CFPs. The other one is for support for the Defichain pool, or for the community Masternode pool, to cover the expenses, especially now when the DFI price is so low. So last one is API. It's also not on the list, but we will add this and the Ocean, or the Mydefichain Ocean soon, with a manual how you can change it easily in your Light wallet. This API is also just an add-on. Most of the data you can get from the Ocean system or the Mydefichain Ocean system, like transactions, balances, and all the other stuff. But we have here some RPC commands from the Defichain node, and we have put them out onto an API endpoint. You can check here, and you can easily check, I don't know, just for example, the get active masternode count. That means how many active masternodes are at the moment in the Defichain system, and you can see, okay, 10,835. Or some other information. I mentioned how many servers we have. I can check here the correct number, and 367 masternodes in the Mydefichain community pool. And you can check here how they are in the time log, or which are time logged 10 years, which are time logged 5 years, and without time log. And also how many servers are online or offline. Sometimes they are offline in maintenance, also to check here. Another thing, but this is just work in progress, is to provide an API for the APR of the different community pool, the hosting providers, especially not all nodes, but especially here, Cake DeFi. How is the APR of the last day? How is the APR the last 7 days? Because the last 1 day is not so good from the data side, because there are not enough blocks. And how many are frozen? Just to verify and not trust all the Cake transparency page. This information is also available for DFX and for log, and also here Mydefichain at the end. You can check here APR, but it fluctuates in 1 day. Because of that, better check the 7-day average. But like I said, it's already work in progress. There, I think it's just 5 days. I don't know. It's I'm working on it. I will tweet this if it's finished. So this was the API part. I think I've covered all the points. If you have any question, this is no live, so you cannot ask them live now, but you can put it into the comments. You can just contact us via Telegram in the Masternode group, the Defichain group, Mydefichain group, or for some of the old schools. And yes, we are already receiving some emails. And if you want to have some support in a direct way or special questions, just get in contact with us. We can also do some Zoom sessions. This is also no problem. So last thing, thanks for watching, and please vote with your Masternode.